Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out XLM's price chart and see what is going on in the short term. But before we get into what is happening in like a real short term, I think it's best to talk about the mid to long term scenarios and remind ourselves why this is such a fantastic chart. You see, in the long term in XLM, I think starting from this point about November of 2014, almost 12 years ago, we are having a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into one correction for wave 2, clear cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave back in 2017's bull run into a larger degree wave 3. And in my view, in XLM, there is a chance that in this phase, we had a WXY, most likely in form of a double zigzag with all the subwaves into our wave 4. And from this point, we might be having a beautiful extension scenario, meaning this can be yet another 1 and a 2, but on a lower degree relative to this red 1 and a 2. And the current move on the upside hopefully is going to be into a great wave 3 correction for another move up into wave 5. And if this is truly our wave 3 in this bull run, but okay, we can bare minimum expect a massive move up in XLM in order to set an all-time high and take the highest high all the way up here about, let's say, basically $8. But I think since this is our wave 3, it is probably going to go way higher than that. So that's why I like XLM quite a bit. Now, real quick, what if I am wrong and this is actually some sort of maybe like an ABCDE in form of a triangle? And if you want to say finding the subways for a triangle is a bit of a challenge, I fully understand this, okay? But I want to be objective and be able to come up with a bearish scenario, at least in the midterm at the same time. So in the interest of being absolutely 100% objective, let's say this is going to be like an ABCDE. Well, in that case, even in that scenario, again, in XLM, you are not going to see a massive move down in order to take the lows in here about 8.5 cents, but you are definitely going to see a move down in order to get to about these areas about, let's say, maybe 14, 15, 16 cents area. And I am telling you right now, let me just scream that. Look, in XLM, if we get a move down like this is going to be an insane buying opportunity. And at that point, XLM might actually become one of my top holdings, because I think we can all agree that this is a major now resistance area, right? Well, if you are a regular viewer of the channel, you probably know what I'm about to say. How many times have we touched this resistance? Let's just do this. Okay, you can say maybe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, even maybe 5, 6 times we touch this long-term resistance area, and every single time we are getting some sort of a reaction from it. So I'm gonna say in XLM, look, this resistance is quite weak, and the next time that we're gonna attack it, odds are we are most likely going to get a break of it and go again much higher than that. And let's say we're gonna go first to about 15, 16 cents area, and then we are going to essentially rocket out of this area and set an all-time high and maybe go much beyond that. But even to about the all-time high from these areas, about 15 cents region, that is like a 6.5, 7x move on the upside in not a meme coin, but in a project with solid, strong, fantastic fundamentals. And well, why shouldn't I buy XLM around these regions? If we get a move down, trust me, I am going to take advantage of that opportunity big time. Now, having said all that, knowing that in the mid to long term we are looking insanely bullish, let's go on some lower time frames and let's just keep you on the ground a little bit and not necessarily act like an absolute boom. So the last time that we talked about XLM, let's go on H1 time frame. There we go. If you remember, we were right around this area, and the idea was that, well, unfortunately, seems like we are having a 3-wave movement up in form of an ABC zigzag, and this seems to be quite a strong move on the downside. So we may end up having just a correction in here followed by another move down, which is really not ideal, indicating in XLM, unfortunately, our move down is going to continue. And since around these areas we didn't really have decent support areas in a zero lumen, I was like, yeah, you know what, even if we end up getting a massive bounce from here, I'm always going to have this important support in the back of my mind. So you know what, we might as well just get it over with and go to about this region first, and then, well, okay, if we are bullish, fair enough, we can get a fantastic bounce off of this important region. And at that point, I'm not really going to say, yeah, you know what, maybe around the lows we are having some unfinished business. No. So what happened? As you can see, we got our move on the downside and we reached to about this important region, and this is like the real moment of truth in XLM. If we are bullish and we want to have a great move up, I need you to fully understand this. Under any kind of circumstances, I do not want to see XLM getting a break of this region, okay? Why is that? Because number one, this is from weekly and daily time frame at the same time, and getting a break of it has a very, very important message, and it's that, well, unfortunately, we are not really that strong. And even if you want to say, well, maybe we are going to get a break of it, but then we are going to maybe from these areas recover and get a move on the upside, well, at that point, this region is going to act as a resistance area, and well, probably under it, you are going to waste some time and you are going to witness some absolutely boring choppy price action. And let's be honest, nobody really wants to see that. I think we can all agree that all of us are tired of seeing absolutely boring price action in altcoins, okay? We want our alt season, and trust me, we all deserve it. So in XLM, this is essentially the make it or break it level, and I don't actually mind if we end up having maybe just like a quick move on the downside and then a bounce, in order for a lot of short-term traders to open short positions in here and then get a move up and hit all of their stop losses and make them cry. The price does actually have a habit of doing that, but again, that's just going to be it. I want to see a short-term move down followed by an immediate bounce, and trust me, this is not going to count as a break of the level, okay? Because this is from weekly and daily time frame at the same time, you need to go on weekly chart and see, excuse me, what just happened? Okay, a candle close under here followed by a pullback and then a continuation of the move down in order to take this low. As long as you are not seeing this structure on weekly time frame, again, important to understand, on weekly time frame, you are not going to say, yeah, we have confirmed that this level is broken and now we are going to have a massive continuation of the move down. Reason number two for why I don't really want to see XLM getting a break of this. You see, unfortunately, under here, I'm not necessarily able to find a whole lot of strong supports. So, God forbid, if we end up getting a break of it, our move down at that point in XLM might actually continue, and we might very well go down and take the lows down here as well, about, let's say, 20 cents area, and maybe go quite a bit lower than that, maybe even somewhere around that 15-16 cents that we talked about a couple of minutes ago. And trust me, in the mid to long term, that is going to be like an insane buy opportunity, at least from my point of view. Now, whether it's going to be a buy opportunity for you or not, you know what, may I suggest, absolutely do your due diligence, come up with your own conclusion, and then if you think that, you know what, okay, this is actually a project with a solid fundamental, well, it should probably be a buy opportunity for you as well. But if you do not want to buy XLM around these areas, you know what, more power to you. I wish you nothing but success in your future. But, you know, maybe we are having different opinions. Trust me, I'm going to buy XLM in this area big time, and I think it is going to indeed become one of my top holdings. Now, personally, I'm not really sure if I'm lucky and we are going to get like a 30-40% move down in order to get to these areas. But again, if we do, I am going to buy the dip big time. And here is another very important point. Let's actually check out some indicators. And first things first, let's go on weekly time frame. Okay, so what do you have in here? In MACD, unfortunately, is still a sell signal, which is not ideal. And in stock RSI, we are also having a sell signal, so definitely not good. But in stock RSI, I guess we can say that we are around the oversold area. So hopefully soon, bears are going to run out of steam. And before we end up breaking this thing, we are going to witness some massive bounce backs. But for now, things on weekly chart based on indicators do not necessarily look optimistic. What about daily time frame? Unfortunately, the situation is pretty much the same, meaning we are having, sell signals in these two indicators at the same time. Now, like we said that earlier, there's actually a very important sign that based on it in the short term in XLM, you can figure out whether we are going to have a good move on the downside or not. So what do you have on the live chart? this is a low, the other one in here is a lower low. But in MACD, this is a low, the other one is actually a higher low. So I think we can all agree this is a beautiful bullish divergence. And since it is happening around this very important support area, we can say technically this is an optimistic sign. And you know what? You're absolutely correct. This is an optimistic sign. However, God forbid, if we want to get a break of this level, well, okay, at that point, may I suggest pay attention to what is happening in MACD, and are we going to get a break of the divergence line or not? Why? Because the moment that we end up getting a break of the divergence line, number one, the bullish sign itself is going to be invalidated, and number two, and much more important than sign number one, as a result of the break of the divergence line, we are actually going to, on the live chart, witness some sharp moves on the downside, and that might unfortunately translate to a break of this important level. Bottom line, in XLM, in my view, it all comes down to this important support, and let's just pray that we are not going to get a break of it. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in XLM. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.